Okay, so we are streaming live from Tabarwa Mindfulness and Detachment Center here in Los Angeles, California. People often say bright and sunny and warm Los Angeles, but my experience has been that it's cold most of the time. It's not so warm. So in that case, we have to warm up our mind with our meditation practice. And that is what we are here to do today, to warm up, to brighten the mind together. So we start any meditation practice with a kind of pumping on the brakes, starting to slow down the momentum of our constant, never-ending activity, especially activity of desire and moving towards something and moving away from something. We start to put that down. We start to give that up, even though there's a lot of momentum behind it, and we have a strong inclination to continuing this desire-focused activity or this avoidance kind of activity, falling into states of sleepiness or dullness, or falling into kind of a restless state, anxious state. Even though there's a lot of momentum in doing that, we also have this very powerful capacity to pump the brakes on all that movement, all that chasing, all that addiction, all that restlessness. So when we start our meditation, we have to begin pumping on the brakes. And how we do that is we slowly and gently find our meditation position. And we find a meditation position that is comfortable, stable, and upright. Now, each time that we meditate, that's going to be a little bit different. Sometimes we might sit one way and it feels comfortable. We sit the same way next time and we feel a lot of pain or difficulty. So we just do our best to be simple, stable, and upright at this moment. So take a moment to make sure that you are in your preferred meditation position, whatever that might be. And while we can practice meditation or mindfulness while moving, it's difficult. There's a lot to be distracted by. It's much easier to trip and fall when we are moving than when we are sitting still in a stable, comfortable position. So this is what we emphasize in our seated meditation practice, is to find this place of stillness and simplicity. Finding this position to put the body down, but not to put the body down like we're going to sleep. Instead, to put the body down in terms of being more aware, more awake, more looking closely at what's happening. So as we find that position to put the body down, we can begin to turn the mind around, turn our mind inward, start to look inside. we can start to notice and focus on the breathing experience. The experience of the breath flowing in through the nose, going down the throat into the lungs, down into the stomach, into the chest. Following closely the path of the breath as it flows in and flows out. And when we start to do this, there may be a disturbance or a sense of like or dislike that immediately comes up, tries to grab our attention. And at that time, we just go more fully into looking at the breath, being with the breath as it flows in and flows out. Letting go of the outside world and beginning to investigate and look closely at this inside world. A-R-I-N-E. Focusing on the breath at this moment as we feel it flowing in through the nostrils, going down the neck, deeper and deeper into the body. Feeling the breath flow all the way down into the stomach, into the lower belly. At this moment, putting down all expectation, putting down all looking in the future or looking into the past, and investing our full embodied attention into following the breath as it flows in and flows out. Sometimes it seems too easy. Sometimes it seems too difficult. This is all just the self getting involved. Don't worry about easy or difficult. Don't worry about good or bad. Whenever the mind gets drawn away or pulled away, reinvest. Become more interested, more curious about the experience of the breath flowing in and flowing out. There's only one job, one responsibility at this moment, and that is to turn the mind around, to turn the mind to start looking inside rather than outside, and to be curious, be involved, be interested in the breath as it is flowing in and flowing out. It doesn't matter how it's flowing in or flowing out. If you're breathing through your ears, your nose, your eyes, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you are giving your full attention, your full interest, your curiosity to this following of the breath as it flows in and flows out, as if it were something very important, very essential. And certainly the breath is very important. So at this moment, giving our full attention to the breath as it flows in and flows out. No self, no story, no big idea, no big worry, no big desire. Just breathing. Just being aware. So we are going all the way into breathing. And as we are relying on the breath, those other thoughts or experiences or judgments, they might be there, but we don't believe in them. We don't rely on them. We don't get involved with them. We rely on, we believe in, we stay with just breathing, just being aware. It's just like going for a walk. There may be many stones. There might be mud. There might be cats or animals running around. None of this is a problem. None of this deters us from continuing to walk. In the same way, during our meditation, there are all kinds of states and experiences that come up. We just continue walking. We just continue practicing. We continue to rely on the breath, rely on present moment awareness in the meditation method, just breathing, just being aware. And we detach from those stones, muds, puddles, trash as we walk. We experience it, but we do not find a self, an I, a real story in those experiences. We just notice it, experience it, and continue walking, continue practicing. Following the breath as it flows in deeply and flows out. The further we get into our meditation, the more fully we can put down any expectation, any idea about getting something out of our meditation. Instead, we just practice more sincerely, more intimately, more directly, to just breathe, to just be aware. Good or bad, deep or shallow is not important. Just breathing, just being aware. We spend all day and all night, from when we are born to when we will die, trying to get. Now we can get giving up. Now we can get no getting. Just breathing. Just being aware. And whatever else we get involved with, we simply give it up. We become uninvolved with the involved. Practice just breathing, just being aware at this moment. Okay, let's listen to some Buddhist teachings. Nibbana Pachaya Hotu. One need not aim at anything or wish for anything at all. Just aim for enlightenment. All manner of becoming and birth and good effects from good deeds in the worldly way do not reach there. Doing good deeds and experiencing the effects, hoping it will cause us to attain to some better state. We don't need to be wishing for a lot of things. Just aim directly for nirvana, for enlightenment. Wanting morality, wanting tranquility, we just end up in the same old place. It's not necessary to desire these things. We should just wish for the place of cessation, the place of ending, the place of giving up, the place of putting down, letting go. This is what we should wish for, direct our mind towards. It is really like this. Throughout all our becoming and birth, all of us are so terribly anxious about so many things. When there is separation, when there is death, we cry and lament. I can only think how utterly foolish this is. What are we crying about? Where do you think people are going anyhow? If they are still bound up in becoming and birth, they are not really going away. When children grow up and move to the big city, they still think of their parents. They won't be missing someone else's parents, just their own. When they return, they will go to their parents' home, not someone else's. And when they go away again, they will still think about their home. Will they be homesick for some other place? What do you think? So when the breath ends and we die, no matter through how many lifetimes, if the causes for becoming and birth still exist, the consciousness is likely to try and take birth in a place it is familiar with. I think we are just too fearful about all this, so please don't go crying about it too much. Think about this. Karma drives beings into their various births. They don't go very far. Spinning back and forth through the round of births, that is all. Just changing appearances, appearing with a different face next time, but we don't know it. Just coming and going and returning in the round of samsara, this world of delusion. Not really going anywhere, just staying there. Like a mango that is shaken off the tree, like the snare that does not get the wasp's nest and falls to the ground. It is not going anywhere. It is just staying there. So the Buddha said, Nibbana Pachaya Hotu. Let your only aim be Nibbana. Let your only aim be complete detachment. Strive hard to accomplish this. Don't end up like the mango falling to the ground and going nowhere. Transform your sense of things like this. If you can change it, you will know great peace. Change, please. Come to see and know. These are things one should indeed see and know. If you do see and know, then where else do you need to go? Morality will come to be of itself. The truth will come to be. It is nothing far away. So please investigate this. When you transform your view, then you will realize that it is like watching leaves fall from the trees. When they get old and dry, they fall from the tree. And when the season comes, they begin to appear again. Would anyone cry when leaves fall or laugh when they grow? If you did, you would be insane, wouldn't you? It is just this much. If we can see things in this way, we will be okay. We will know that this is just the natural order of things. It doesn't matter how many births we undergo, it will always be like this. When one studies the truth, gains clear knowledge, and undergoes a change of worldview like this, one will realize peace and be free of bewilderment about the phenomena of this life. But the important point really is that we have life now in the present. We are experiencing the results of past deeds right now. When beings are born into the world, this is the manifestation of past actions. Whatever happiness or suffering beings have in the present is the fruit of what they have done previously. It is born of the past and experienced in the present. Then this present experience becomes the basis for the future as we create further causes under its influence. And so future experience becomes the result. The movement from one birth to the next also happens in this way. You should understand this. Listening to the Dhamma should resolve your doubts. It should clarify your view of things and alter your way of living. When doubts are resolved, suffering can end. You stopped creating more and more desires and mental afflictions. Then, whatever you experience, if something is displeasing to you, you will not suffer over it because you understand its changeability. If something is pleasing to you, you will not get carried away and become intoxicated by it, because you know the way to let go of things appropriately. You maintain a balanced perspective, because you understand impermanence and know how to resolve things according to the truth. You know that good and bad conditions are always changing. Knowing internal phenomena, you understand external phenomena. Not attached to the external, you are not attached to the internal. Observing things within yourself or outside of yourself, it is all completely the same. In this way, we can dwell in a natural state, which is peace and tranquility. If we are criticized, we remain undisturbed. If we are praised, we are undisturbed. Let things be in this way. Don't be influenced by others. This is freedom. Knowing the two extremes of pleasure and pain for what they are, one can experience well-being. One does not stop at either side. This is genuine happiness and peace, transcending all things of the world. One transcends all good and evil, above cause and effect, beyond birth and death. Born into this world, one can transcend the world. Beyond the world, knowing the world, this is the aim of the Buddha's teaching. He did not aim for people to suffer. He desired people to attain to peace, to know the truth of things and realize wisdom. This is Dhamma, knowing the nature of things. Whatever exists in the world is nature. There is no need to be in confusion about it. Wherever you are, the same laws apply. The most important point is that while we have life, we should train the mind to be even in regard to things. We should be able to share wealth and possessions. When the time comes, we should give a portion to those in need, just if we were giving things to our own children. Sharing things like this, we will feel happy. And if we can give away all our wealth, then whenever our breath may stop, there will be no attachment or anxiety, because everything is gone. The Buddha taught to die before you die, to be finished with things before they are finished. Then you can be at ease. Let things break before they are broken. Let them finish before they are finished. This is the Buddha's intention in teaching the Dhamma. Even if you listen to teachings for 100 or 1,000 eons, if you do not understand these points, you won't be able to undo your suffering and you will not find peace. You will not see the Dhamma. But understanding these things according to the Buddha's intention and being able to resolve things is called seeing the Dhamma. But understanding these things according to the Buddha's intention, this view of things can make an end of suffering. It can relieve all heat and distress. Whoever strives sincerely and is diligent in practice, who can endure, who trains and develops themselves to the full measure, those persons will attain to peace and cessation, to peace and the ending of attachment. Wherever they stay, they will have no suffering. Whether they are young or old, they will be free of suffering. Whatever their situation, whatever work they have to perform, they will have no suffering, because their minds have reached the place where suffering is exhausted, where there is peace. It is like this. It is a matter of nature. The Buddha thus said to change one's perceptions, and there will be the Dhamma. When the mind is in harmony with the Dhamma, then Dhamma enters the heart. The mind and the truth become indistinguishable. This is something to be realized by those who practice, the changing of one's view and experience of things. The entire Dhamma, the entire Buddhist truth, is to be known personally. It cannot be given by anyone. That is an impossibility. If we hold it to be difficult, then it will be something difficult. If we take it to be easy, then it is easy. Whoever contemplates it and sees the one point does not have to know a lot of things. Seeing the one point, seeing birth and death, the arising and passing away of phenomena according to nature, one will know all things. This is a matter of the truth. This is the way of the Buddha. The Buddha gave his teachings out of the wish to benefit all beings. He wished for us to go beyond suffering and to attain peace. It is not that we have to die first in order to transcend suffering. We shouldn't think that we will attain this after death. We can go beyond suffering here and now in the present. We transcend within our perception of things, in this very life, through the view that arises in our minds. Then, sitting, we are happy. Laying down, we are happy. Wherever we are happy. We become without fault, experience no ill results, and live in a state of freedom. The mind becomes clear, bright, and tranquil. There is no more darkness or defilement. This is someone who has reached the supreme happiness of the Buddha way. Please investigate this for yourselves. All of you lay followers, please contemplate this to gain understanding and ability. If you suffer, then practice to alleviate your suffering. If it is great, make it little. And if it is little, make an end of it. Everyone has to do this for themselves. So please make an effort to consider these words. May you prosper and develop. So that is from a collection of Ajahn Chah's teachings entitled Everything is Teaching Us. At this time, we will open up the space for question and answer. Does anyone have a question? Question or comment? Okay, so we'll take a few moments to sit together in silence, letting the teaching soak in. And then we will finish with some chanting in just a moment. Coming back at this moment to aiming for nothing, relying on just breathing, just being aware as we cool, as we relax, as we settle the unsettled. At this time, we can all bring our hands together. We will finish with Buddhist chanting. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thank you all for joining in our group meditation and teachings this evening. Wishing you health and wealth, happiness and peace, and hope to see you again sometime soon. All right, take care and be happy.